Welcome to the SportsCage on Thursday. Access Communications, thank you very much. Sharky's going to be with me today. Colson's in the pocket. We got 3 hours for you. We're going to get an update right away on our starting quarterback, Trevor Harris. Is he going to be playing? What does it look like? Was he back on the field? Dave Thomas is filtering in some audio clips for us. We're going to have that right away. I guess the NASCAR report today with Sharky's off the chart. So big story today. Your mic's not even on yet.
Okay. All right, there I am. Big story.
Arash Madani in hour 2. How about a little the Regina Pats? There's a couple of fellows hoping that their names are called the NHL draft this weekend. So we'll talk to Kolten Brigdeman along with Reese Hamilton on that. Hour 3, Glen Suitor. And a whole lot more. Caleb Sanders. Dave had a chance to sit down with him from our Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Sharky is with me, like I said. Before I get to Sharky, all our guests join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. All the Greek favorites you love and the generous amount of toppings on the pizza. Our sports tickers are brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, Extreme Hockey and Sport, where they have the Bauer Flylight gear now. And Steelcraft Doors Regina, they're into their new 40,000 square foot facility. And also, you are always welcome to participate on the Prairie Land Rentals text line or phone line, 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals, since 1986, 600 Albert Street. From power tools to skid steers, they got everything you need to rent, and they sell Husqvarna. Sharky is for Flooring Superstores Regina. How's your week?
My week has been, it's been a roller coaster. Ups and downs, highs and lows.
Life or just work? Or
Work. We had some work, yeah. Some people needed to get bonked on the head. Some people needed to get a hug.
Better do that button up. I look kind of cheesy. You're watching the
Do you have
YouTube.
a gold chain on? Do you have a gold chain as well?
Hey, funky, Tone. Yeah, up and down week for you.
Yeah, better now though. We're on the right track.
A lot of cautious people in town with this Trevor Harris news.
Yeah, I mean, whenever your starting quarterback gets a bump on the noggin and he can't participate in practice, you start to question what's going on. Hopefully it's not bad. Adding a possible infection, they said. Might have knocked loose a booger or something. You never know, right?
That could be anything. I actually wouldn't mind if it's Coach Mace just playing everybody.
Well, he could.
Infection.
Yeah.
Like didn't Maz yesterday talk about an ear infection? When you got young kids, like ear infections are like every week.
They're running through your house constantly.
It's the worst.
Constantly. The little petri dishes run around all over the place. People are sick everywhere. Ugh.
My one buddy's had this. My one buddy had this little guy. Oh, he's so awesome. He's a little spitfire. But he's the youngest in the family. So he'd be at the hockey rinks and he's like licking the vending machines and the gumball machines. He's got his hands right up there and he's like tongue out. And I'm like, well, and so I just called him the virus. And then he got the whole family sick all year. So the other daughter was playing hockey, sick. Then the other boy, sick. And they get back and forth. It's like, because you got the virus. The virus lives with you. So, and then he's going to daycare. And like, who knows what he's spreading and what he's bringing home.
Speaking of petri dishes,
so viruses could be anything. I like it. I like the play.
Yeah. He practiced today.
But did he?
Well, probably not at 100%, but I don't think your starting quarterback needs to be out there running every play to be his starting quarterback on Saturday night.
That's why you don't coach in the CFL.
That could be why I don't coach anymore.
Let's hear from Coach Mace. It looks like Trevor Harris was out on the field today. Did he practice and will he play?
Yeah, no, Trev was out here, man, so it was good, to see him back out here doing his thing. Again, same process, though. We'll look at the tape and make the decision today.
I've never heard a practice say we're looking at the tape.
Well, that's why they're 3-0, maybe.
They're looking at the tape in practice.
So I think you would at that level. Sure, NHL too. Like you've been practicing. They're not doing the system right. They're not doing what this right, and then they go through and they say, "Hey."
He would know watching practice within seconds whether he's on or off. Yeah.
When's the last time you had a concussion? Serious question.
Oh, COVID. got hit in the head with a door off a horse trailer.
Was that with Crofty?
Yeah. Did that sting? Oh, man. That put me to a knee. It didn't put me down, but I took a knee. Yeah.
Text in if you want to win some Red Sox tickets.
Oh,
Did Sharky laugh or was he worried? Don't tell us. We'll get to that later. I know what I would vote for. But you know when you have a concussion, and I think I'm probably 3.5, at least 4.
Oh, I'm more than that.
And you think you're okay. I always said the one thing is try and do a sit-up. That was one of the things, to try and do a sit-up or try running up some stairs. And then when that blood gets going, that was always like this.
Then the headache came back, right?
Yeah, and that was kind of always my thing. But back in our day, and not to be like, hey, back in our day, but we who knows how many
Took
guys
some aspirin and you kept playing. Yeah.
Like gloves and helmets fighting in locker rooms, which was just a cage rate. Like the amount of punches to the head and all that's so banned and so not allowed nowadays. But concussions there, and guys got them. My worst one I ever had. Share a concussion story with everybody. Tubing, Emma Lake. I might have been Rhett Warner's boat. Those ski biscuits?
Yeah.
Those were the big tubes when tubes first came out.
Yep.
If someone had a ski biscuit, you wanted to be their friend. You were like, whoa. Like, what palace mansion do you live in? You have a They have 2 ski biscuits. So this is, hey, kids out there listening, this is pre-Wake Tower. This is like old school. So we're
Still
ripping
a fishing boat pulling it.
Yeah, exactly. And you cross up, and it was like always funny to get whipping around.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny, but I guess I vaguely, my head hit Buddy on the other ski biscuit or sea biscuit, whatever's his knee. So he thought he broke his knee. He's in the water. I'm floating in a daze, life jacket on, big life jacket guy. Kids always wear life jackets. And then they get me into this boat, and it wasn't good. But then they partied all night, and they just let me sleep.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to let somebody.
You look fine.
Has a concussion.
You look fine.
Possibly. Wait a minute.
That's the one thing they always tell you: wake them up, right? Make sure they're not.
But
yeah,
it's just like you. So back to the Trevor Harris. It's like I'm sure they do so many tests.
Oh, sure.
And Greg Mayer, everything's buttoned up. This isn't your dad's CFL where it's just rub some dirt on it.
Even like the university hockey team, they go and get pre-evaluated to where they're at, so that the training staff and the sports staff has some record of where you're at prior to playing.
Clear.
So if you get hit, clear. So if you get hit, they can go, nope, you're not good. You haven't met your previous levels.
Coach Mace here talks about if Trevor has cleared all hurdles to play.
Yeah, almost, but this was a big one today. So, again, we played it smart and want to make sure that we're taking care of it. But to have him come back out here, it was big time for us.
I wanted the Coach Mace there.
Sort of. Yeah. Doesn't sound like he's quite cleared yet, so they'll wait another day, do the tests again.
So
see where he's at.
The other big question is, when will Coach Mace make a decision on if Harris is playing?
It might be a game time, truthfully, decision. How we list it, but we've got to watch the tape and see it from there first.
That's right. Yeah, I like it. Hey, suck on that, BC.
He could play. He could not.
We are going to wait until after that anthem and they roll up the flag. Surprise.
Then we'll send out a quarterback.
Jake May. Tommy Stevens. No. So they're cautious, everything there. I hope everybody's happy with what we were able to find out. Thanks, Dave Thomas and everybody there. But what if you're voting, if you were going to wager if he's playing or not, what would you say?
Me? 75%.
Colson? Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah.
You think he's
85.
What do you got? Is it? Are you trying to find a line on it? Is that what you're doing?
I am looking if the line has moved. And to be honest, I haven't looked at it yet. So it's at -3.5. Anybody out there that's listening that's a D-gen like me, if that line has moved in the last 24 hours, let us know. Because The thing is, both starting quarterbacks could be out.
Yes.
I think BC, I don't think they're playing. Personally, I don't know. We can talk to Glen later. We got Farham tomorrow. I don't think they're going to play.
It didn't sound like everything I read today that Rourke is anywhere close.
What did you read? Farhan tweeted something at us, Colson?
Yeah, he tweeted at us. Let me find it quick here.
But that oblique, that's another...
It's a different injury.
A lot of twisting, and
It takes a long time to heal.
0 reps for Nathan Rourke in BC Lions practice today. He threw short passes on the sideline during defense and special teams periods. Masoli and Bryce split first team reps.
They should have had him do mental reps like he did at the New York Giants. That would have went over well.
Yeah, stand back, look, peel.
What's that all about?
He's not playing. If he hasn't thrown a ball, he's not playing.
So to my point, or my thought on it is, if Rourke doesn't play, I don't think Harris plays. I think the Riders are confident that they can beat the BC Lions without Rourke, without Jake
Harris.
Mayer,
Yeah,
with Tommy Stevens.
even Cone.
They were Cones.
Yeah, put Cone back on the roster. It's not. You know what? It's week 4. It's not week 18. We're not trying to figure out who's going to get a home playoff date or not get a home playoff date, although it could affect it down the road. But BC's tape without Rourke is not very good offensively. They do not look like they're a team to be scared of. So, yeah, it might be a chance to play Stevens and give Harris that extra week of rest. If you've ever had a bad concussion, they're terrible. They are absolutely terrible. You're throwing up, you're sick, you're dizzy. You don't
Did I ever
sleep.
tell you about the concussion I got once behind a boat on a sea biscuit?
You forget things.
Sherry and Regina text line, Prairie Land Rentals text line saying rest him. No need to play him if he's feeling the effects. Dave and Weyburn, kind of same thing.
Because you can get a second one and make the first one worse. So it is possible to make it worse.
Roscoe sending in a joke that I don't quite get.
Probably can't read.
What about the lady that tried to steal the riverboat? Is she the last Saskatchewan pirate? Did I miss something?
Do we miss a riverboat theft? Is something
That's actually
something happened in Saskatoon?
That's not easy to steal. That's not easy to get away with on a river. Oh, there he is.
In Saskatoon.
In a boat.
There's only one way you can go. That way.
You can't go the weir.
No, you can't go over the weir.
You could try.
Apparently, a woman was arrested for attempting to steal the Prairie Lily.
Today?
The report I'm seeing is from 8 hours ago.
Good for her.
Does it have a picture of her? If I drew a sketch, would I be able to kind of be pretty bang on?
I don't see a picture of her. I'll do some more investigating, but
I bet you she wasn't wearing a business suit.
Let's throw that up. If we can get that up. Maybe a Dollarama bag in her hand? No?
No name on this one. There are no such things as viruses.
Okay,
Mr.
Kennedy.
I got a brother-in-law who's a doctor. He actually cures, trying to cure asthma in kids, Children's Hospital. He would say there is.
Yes.
I go for him for most of my stuff. He's a little bit of a nut job, but I go to him for most of my.
I look at medical people first.
Yeah, I do too.
I also don't let the doctor change the brakes on my truck. Right?
Crofty's coming in saying the horse trailer door to the melon is a great story. He laughed.
He knows it well. He was the one that told you to be careful. Don't put yourself in a bad spot.
So yeah, that's the story on
horse comes out.
That's the story on Mace. Tonight we have Dustin Nielsen just texted me here. I should ask him. I'm going to ask him what should I sprinkle on tonight. We got the Edmonton Elks in Winnipeg to take on the undefeated Bombers.
The line is not good if you're the Elks.
The line's 10.5, and the Eskimos, the Elks they're going to go nameless soon, and then they're going to change it back next year. They need a win.
They need a win.
And to talk about a tough place.
And this is not the place they're going to get it.
10.5.
Aren't you one of the guys that has money on Fajardo being the starting quarterback?
And that was just like a fun SportsCage line I threw out. I think I was 6 games, and I went under. I think he'll be starting a game under 6.
I think he'll appear against Winnipeg. I've heard some stories about Ed Hervey. He is not a good dude.
What?
Yeah.
You don't know that. People say that about you and me.
Yeah, but who are they? This was people
somewhat
inside,
true.
This was people inside the Edmonton organization. Said he is not a good dude.
What else can you say on it? Like, not a good dude as in to his teammates, to his friends and family, to humanity.
To humanity. To people in the organization.
Not a superstar?
Not a superstar. No, he's not going to get GM of the year. Yeah, he gets things in his head, and he wants it done that way, and it doesn't matter what the results are. He still keeps hammering away on it.
Those people are tough to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those ones are tough. If you think you're the smartest person in the room,
you're usually not.
That's tough.
Yeah.
But
I've never had that problem. Even with my dogs, I think I get tricked.
I did see you shopping for toilets once.
Hey.
And you were falling in line.
Oh yeah, I don't make any decisions. Because, if I make a decision, paint color toilets, fencing, garden, whatever I do, I just have to undo and do what she wants to do. So just do it once and do it her way. Because I can still see the TV from the couch. That's all that matters.
10.5 tonight. Edmonton Elks in Winnipeg. Man, plus 390 on the money line. Oh, is there any chance they can win?
No.
Like, I'm probably gonna throw a little bit something on Edmonton, but I don't know what. Over under 51.
I'd still take the over.
Is Winnipeg?
I got Winnipeg at 35 points.
Is this an old-fashioned trap game for the Bombers?
I mean, you look at Winnipeg's injury list. The 6th game, there's nobody that I recognize. The 1 game, the only guy on there that is Brady Oliveira, and they've replaced him with another Canadian running back who's just as effective. Right? The long snapper's out. Doesn't seem to be affecting their kicker at all. Right? So I think Winnipeg is in good shape and ready to play. They're mad. Winnipeg's mad. They're mad. They're mad about they've been disrespected. They've been the suspension to Caleros has made them angry. Caleros, just pick up the phone. They get some anger there, and they're going to take it out on Edmonton. At home, yeah.
I don't know. Hey, 936-6262.
You hear that can be an open? That's a fresh can. A whoop.
But if
bing.
What do you know? Is anybody out there? Is anybody like those hardcore CFLers? Like, what do you know about this game that we don't know? Text us in. Is there any way that Edmonton can pull this out on the road?
No.
Well, I know what you think. So maybe the over/under is the play, or an anytime touchdown for that. What's that character that's been lighting it up there? That receiver, Wheatfield,
for Edmonton or for Winnipeg?
Wingfield, good disc back in the 90s. I think Wheatfield. Yeah, he was
Wheatfall. Carrick, Wheatfall. An
anytime touchdown by him would pay.
He's only got 1 so far this year.
Plus 125. Oh, Dusty just got back to me. What does he say? Good question.
That's helpful.
Quinton Cooley over rush yards. Is there a number on it? I'll have to look, then I'll get back to you. Let's take a break. All right. We're going to come back with some flag football news.
I like it.
We'll get into this. It is a Sports Cage. Sharky's in for Flooring Superstores. The show is brought to you by Access Communication. Thanks to everyone who's hammering the like button and subscribing on our YouTube channel through sportscage.com. And as always, we're on the home of the Rider, 620 CKRM. Sharky's with me. Colson's in the pocket. Sharky is for Flooring Superstores. Whole programs for Access Communications. Trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security.
And Sharky's Man Cave.
Okay, let's get to the text line. Ted in the Cabri area is saying he doesn't think Harris is going to play tomorrow. Why would we risk it? Rest them. That's if Rourke ain't playing. I said if Rourke ain't playing.
No.
I don't mind. I don't mind resting him. But hey, I've coached 0 games in the CFL. Dylan. Dylan's getting in on our action here.
All right.
Dylan, I don't know where Dylan's from. He didn't say. Dylan, where are you from? Just shout out. Edmonton is going to get a beating like no tomorrow tonight.
They're going to take a licking like they stole something.
Langenberg. Kevin in Regina. I think he listens to the show. Kevin's one of the good ones. I think there's a better chance of Maz's neighbor finally cutting that little patch of grass for him than the Elks pulling out a dub tonight. You gotta be a listener on that one. Good one, Kev. Making us laugh. Trying to find out if the Elks have any chance tonight. So Wheatfall's my guy. Dusty was asking about his over-under yard, 65.5. I don't want to get into the minutia of that. We can do that later. Okay, so did you hear this? I don't know if anybody knows who Pat McAfee is. A lot of people listening to this show probably have an idea. I don't know if you listen to him. He's a sports analyst now. He used to be a punter for the Indianapolis Colts, but he has one of the top-rated
He's a character.
sports syndicated sports shows in the world. McAfee. It's on ESPN. I get to watch it once in a while. If not, I'll tune in and listen. I just love his clips. Like the clips are great. So Canada went 4-0 in flag football down in Los Angeles. Remember we had Joel Lipinski on?
Yep.
And he talked about how they're going there and we see how it goes and all that. They went 4-0. In that 4-0 run, they did beat the Americans.
The United States of America.
So Pat McAfee on his show,
he's trying to find out where Canada is.
He's pretty intelligent when it comes to that. This is the bit on the show yesterday.
Wrong one.
Respect that because there are different rules. Yep. With that being said, we can't be losing to Canada. Okay? You guys can't be.
Canada doesn't even play football.
It's a strong squad.
It is not.
The Canada one is.
It is not. That is the problem that I'm having here. Now, I learned this from Football Canada's official senior men's, senior masculine. Obviously, you guys speak French in there because it is Canada. 25-21. They go on to play Japan, I think, in the next couple of days, Super Duper International Bowl. It's flag football here.
It's embarrassing.
Can't happen.
Can't.
Joke.
Who's playing? Who was on the team? Who's responsible?
Yeah, who was on our team?
We haven't been able to get all the details. I just saw this posted.
What?
I don't know if Doucette was playing in that.
On the roster.
He is on the website whenever we checked it, who was playing. He is on the roster. And maybe Canada just has a team. Or maybe also we should think about Lamar Jackson playing on his team.
Bingo.
Kyler Murray playing on his team. You know,
even let our college guys play on this team. Like if you want to make it all.
McAfee's got more listeners than we have people in the city. Probably in this province. This is dead serious. He's got it's a great show. AJ Hawk is the other major guy. Then he's got the guys in the back. The one guy's a Patriots fan. I love him. That was the one guy that they didn't show him. He's like, they got a strong squad. That guy might have he might have the know. He might know about Canada. Then he says, like, let's get Lamar Jackson playing. It is. You've talked about over the next 12 months, I'm just going to be banging my head against the wall, and then it will come. Those guys are very smart; they'll figure it out. When it is different, you could have put you would have put Lamar Jackson in there. You might have lost worse to Canada. The score was 25-21.
Yeah,
which is actually pretty low scoring. Then Canada beat Japan 30-28. Who was I talking to? I was talking to Mike Thomas last week. I think it was Mike. And he was talking about when he was here, and the youngsters are going down. We'll be keeping an update on that. The U15s, and Japan is like really short and small, but they play to that. And if you've ever watched flag football, there's a move that really good flag football players do, and kids do it here too as well. They learn is when you're running and you're gonna get your flag pulled, you kind of like you do a dip, you do like a lunge, like a drop down lunge. So when you think about it, if Japan or anybody, like if you're short and you do that,
it's ground level.
It's hard to get to. And if you're a tall fellow or lady, and then you got to go down and grab that flag, that's tough. So Canada beat Japan. Then they beat Australia 27-6. And then they wrapped it up with another beating of Japan 40-21. On the women's side, they beat Japan. They beat Australia. They beat Germany, but then lost to America 26-22. But regardless,
not a whipping, but they're right there.
It is going. So and then the thing about Canada is, what is it? 6 teams or 8? 6 get into the Olympics?
I think it was 6.
Like the ranking, the world rankings, and how all that plays out, that is going to be. And then I looked at the roster, and when we had Paul LaPolice on talking about it, who's the head coach of Team Canada, as well as Joel Lipinski from Saskatoon, who's the defensive coordinator, they had that tryout in Montreal. There wasn't a lot of Saskatchewan kids. A lot of Saskatchewan kids went to Finland last year for the Worlds, led by Mason Nias from Saskatchewan, from Regina, now coaching with the U of S Huskies. So it was a lot of Quebec on the roster. If you pull up the roster, you're looking at the roster?
No, I'm looking at the American roster, trying to figure them out.
And then there was one guy from Winnipeg, but there wasn't a lot of Western. And then this will be a fluid roster from now until Olympic time. They'll be bringing people in and out. And
yeah, that was the talk right from the start.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be this 25 was going to be the team or whatever. It was going to change constantly as they're closer to the Olympics, assuming they qualify. So, yeah. There's no need to get locked into these guys or start buying jerseys.
Well, no,
it's going to change.
It's like, remember back in the day, and we had Dave King on the Nooner. We had Randy Smith talking about playing for Team Canada at the World Hockey Championships, and playing for Team Canada back in the day when they would go play in the Izvestia Cup, and they'd go play in Sarajevo. Whatever happened to, like, there used to be a hockey hotbed there. They would go play in a tournament in Sarajevo. Is that still a place?
Yeah, Sarajevo is still a place. It's a little war torn.
War torn, okay.
Yeah.
But they would talk about that national team, and you would like, I think Randy Smith, the joke was, you wouldn't want to borrow anything to a teammate, because he might be gone. You might get to the locker room the next day and he's gone. Or you're like touring over in Europe, and he's all of a sudden he's not on the bus. So what happened to him? Well, we sent him home, or he got picked up by wherever.
Well, he's got my Walkman.
Yeah, he's got my Milli Vanilli tape, cassette tape.
My favorite song.
It's actually not a bad tape, to be honest. So I think that's how this will be, the Canada roster. Maybe there'll be some spots in and out. Oh, the pros though, and where that lands. And now the Americans would probably be having a summit to be like,
well,
whoa.
They got to first, I mean, no offense to Pat McAfee, but he's judging flag football against the NFL or NCAA, right? They have one. So, Pat, understand the rules, understand the differences, understand the nuances of the game. You've talked about it constantly, and I've been more than impressed with what you've said about it, about how it is not simply the transfer of skills from one to another, right? There are different skills for both games. And we can go back to the Mr. Wilson and his comments. They're different games. The NFL and the CFL are different games. So all of it doesn't mean that just because you're good at one, you're going to be good at the other. There are baseball players that can't hit a softball, and vice versa.
I've played both. You want to get into the fastball baseball conversation someday? Let me know. I played both. I played men's.
Yeah, I know they're different games.
I played men's in both. Totally different. Who's this here? Dan in Regina. Is flag football entertaining on TV? Is it available anywhere? I would have watched. Again, yeah. I looked on YouTube, Dan, and everybody. I couldn't find any of these games except there was a live link. And I was looking last night. It was 11 o'clock at night. That's when I do my show prep, because keep in mind I got 2 jobs. And I was looking at.
Nobody cares.
There's no YouTube of these games, but then it was like a watch live link, and I'm like, well, there's nothing going on live right now.
No.
The tournament's over, and then I wasn't sure if it was like a pay. They wanted me to pay to watch it, which I won't do. But what I would say, Dan, is if you go to YouTube and search 2022, 2023, 2024 World Flag Football Championships, And there's the one game is USA versus Italy. I think it's from a year or two ago. It's the final. And watch the contrast in...
Yeah, like I'm watching a little bit of... This is
gameplay.
This is Canada and Australia.
What year?
I'm trying to figure that out.
And then you can watch...
These are kids, though. This isn't even adults. These are kids.
Yeah, you got to search. You got to search adults. Then you can watch the women's... which is I got 2 plays for my team, my boys team, off the watching the women's, my son and I, and he was like, "Did they seriously just do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's put that in the playbook."
Yeah.
I think it is very entertaining. It is awesome to watch.
The International Bowl, which we're just talking about here, Home Team Network. There's a website you can go to where it's got this year's stuff.
Yeah, do you have to pay?
No. I've been trying to pull some clips from it for Arash's segment later for some B-roll, so you'll see some of it later. But yeah, that's where you can watch.
Right on.
Shoot me that link.
I'll
do that. And then
he's got nothing else to do today.
Yeah, and then the other thing I was going to say, what's the over/under on Barney concussions from flag football discussions and banging his head against the wall?
Taking the over.
Oh,
whatever it is, taking the over.
And by the way, it was Ski Biscuit, and there's one for sale in garage sale. I'm looking at it. It's the beautiful red with the black.
Ready to go.
There's a lot of people out there right now. They're like, "Oh, I remember the Ski Biscuit." You roll up to Last Mountain Lake or whatever next week when it's hot out in a Ski Biscuit and just float. Don't even get behind a boat.
No,
people think you're a baller. Those things were awesome. We were talking concussions earlier because if you're just tuning in, Trevor Harris was out there slinging it a bit today, but we're no word that he's starting yet. And Coach Mace makes it sound like it's going to be a game time decision.
Sounds like they might do it like right after warm up.
Yeah, I said wait till they're rolling up the flag and then go into it. Tonight in the CFL, it's the Elks in Winnipeg. Who else here? Joe in
take Winnipeg.
Joe in the Vonda area says take the Elks to cover. LOL.
Really?
LOL though.
Oh yeah.
He says LOL. I don't know. What do you think? I might do that. See the over under. What's the weather like in Winnipeg tonight? Are they getting these storms that we're getting? Because everything's been brewing. The last night.
You read the weather, don't you know this?
That looks going back to the concussion thing. But there was if there's nasty weather rolling through Winnipeg, but it won't be bad enough to stop the game.
26 degrees right now, mix of sun and cloud.
Winnipeg is not scheduled to get any trouble.
Yeah.
No.
Wind from the south, 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40. That sounds like a perfect football day.
Yeah. And remember, a lot of people there still think that we're in COVID. They'll be wearing a hot night to wear their mask.
Wear their mask? Yeah.
We got a break.
Really?
936-6262.
That's Kolten making all those gestures.
Thanks to everyone who's been playing along. And before we go to break, I want to say the Saskatchewan Rough Riders Foundation 50-50. You got till 5 o'clock today to get in for the early bird. And then you're in for the 50-50 in the game as well. The early bird is the Cavendish Beach Music Festival in beautiful PEI. 2 flights from Sasky, 4 nights hotel, 2-person VIP admission, car rental, round trip transfers from the airport. Or you can take $7,650 cash.
What are the dates on the concert?
You're the one that looked up and you thought it was an awesome lineup. July 10th to 12th. That's right away.
Right away.
You're boarding a plane and you're getting on Shania Twain.
I'm leaving the dogs at your house.
I'm not even in town. Shania Twain's going to do her thing. Tyler Hubbard from Florida Georgia Line. He's coming to Country Thunder as well. Megan Patrick is there.
Laney Wilson.
And then, Lainey Wilson, big name in country music. She's on Saturday. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday twirl is how they do this one. So that you get a chance to win. By 5 o'clock today, you got to buy your 50-50. Riders5050.ca.
And get packing because you're leaving right away.
Yeah, let's bring back the suitcase parties. Those are the best. You could. That's a whole other show. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. Kolten says thanks to everyone who's hit the like button there. And, of course, we're on 620 CKRM. Rider News. Trevor Harris was practicing today, but Coach Mace says he'll be a game-time decision tomorrow. One game in the league tonight. Elks in Winnipeg. Elks heavy underdogs. Western Canadian Baseball League. Regina lost 6-5 to Saskatoon last night. Sox out-hit the Berries 12-6, but committed 6 errors. They're now 7.5 back in the East. Regina Medicine Hat tonight in Medicine Hat, and tomorrow chasing the Mavericks as well. Blue Jays 6-0 over Cleveland, wrapping up that. That was the rubber game. NHL, Dallas Stars, Jamie Benn agree on a 1-year bonus-heavy extension. Darren Dreger also says that the Stars are finalizing their head coaching decision. Glenn Gullickson and Neil Graham are believed to be the favorites. That is your sports ticker. An hour one for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. Jamie Benn. I was not sure if he was going to continue to play, if he was going to pack it in, because remember he sat and there was a picture of him sitting in the locker room after they lost out again, after they got slapped around by the Oilers.
Ooh, they did not show up well against Edmonton, not at all.
When you think about the playoffs this year, we got tomorrow on the show. I have Ken Wiebe coming on.
Weber
couldn't come on today. He said, tell Sharky I said hi. I was getting ready for the draft. Just talk about Jonathan Toews. Obviously, you know Toews going back to Winnipeg.
Yeah. Who called that, by the way?
You did, yeah. I was wondering if you were going to bring that up. Good job. I obviously I don't know Jonathan Toews that well.
Neither do I, but it was just the perfect fit for him. Yeah.
He might not be playing. I think I understand it not until like later, like November-ish. So
yeah.
He has some time to relax. But Jamie Benn, it was, when you think about the play, it was weird. Like now Edmonton should have lost to probably Los Angeles.
Yes, didn't.
Turn changes everything. Las Vegas did not look anywhere near like what we thought. Ooh, Las Vegas.
Yeah,
I lost
money on them.
I did too.
Yeah.
And then Dallas looks so bad. Edmonton looks so good. And then in this Cup final, and it was all Florida.
It was all Florida. Jimmy Benn's 35 years old. And I wouldn't say that he's played on the perimeter. He's played in the mix, right?
No
he's been in the crash. He might have just wanted one more contract because he thought Dallas was good enough to maybe take a run.
And I
could see him giving up the C too.
Bonus heavy.
Yes.
So he goes for, what would the minimum that he could make?
I think I read it was like $1.2 million or something, or $1.5 million if everything kicked in. And one of them was they had to win the Stanley Cup.
Take that money over there and go and get us some guys. Put me on the third line.
Exactly.
And let's try and get this done.
Yep.
Because they do have a really good team. Who is it? Duchesne?
Duchesne's still there. Yep.
If he, like another older guy.
Yep.
Sagan.
Wyatt Johnston.
Young guy, build around him.
I read something that they're looking at moving Robertson, and I'm like, what are you doing? Robertson should not be on the block. They've got a really good defenseman in Heiskanen. I think they might want to look at Ottinger in goal and say that didn't work out the way we planned. But I think their coaching I think there was a dysfunction between their coaching staff and their players. And I think you saw that the way they finished up. So sometimes teams will take their coach and throw him under the bus, and I think he got tossed.
Pete Dubois, they would always show him on the bench in games, and he would look confused. I would watch lots, and they would show him on the screen.
He didn't look like he was in his happy place by any stretch of the imagination.
Lots of people were.
Yeah.
Who was the kid that Mikko Rantanen in the Rantanen?
Yes.
Stankoven.
That's what they lost in the Rantanen deal.
I know, but they got Rantanen too. Let's remember that. But that Stankoven, that guy's a gamer for a youngster.
Yeah, he's got a lot of jam. Reminds me of Brad Marchand in lots of ways. Can play that kind of style. Maybe not a great comparison because I can't stand Marchand, but he does have that style of play. But I do think that Dallas was a couple of players short, and they get Heiskanen was coming off an injury. We don't know what's happened with the rest of the roster in terms of injuries. Obviously, like I say, dysfunction between the team and the coaching staff. So I would be excited to see what Dallas can do, turn it around. I think Jamie Benn wants to stay there one more year to see if it can happen.
As we wrap up hour one here, I'm going to throw this out. Colson, heads up. If you want to go to a Regina Red Sox game this year, any game, doesn't matter where, we got that. We got 2 tickets to any 2025 regular season game of your choice. We're also going to throw in a Red Sox coffee mug. All of that. So 936-6262. Or if you're on the YouTube channel, message in that you want to win. Text in. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Colson, you want to take phone in? You got to phone in. You got to talk to us, though. Yeah, phoning in. You got to talk to us. We can talk about whatever you want.
Yep.
Sports wise.
Yes.
So yeah, 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals, power tools to skid steers. They got it all. 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. Hour 2, we're going to start with Arash Madani coming in. Also in hour 2, we're going to talk to a couple of Regina Pats that are hoping to get selected in the NHL draft coming up this
You said
weekend.
Phone in, and I immediately get a spam call on my personal phone. This is not what we meant, people.
Maybe it's
not from Estonia. No, we don't want that call.
It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM. Hey, if you're in Regina and driving home or in the Regina area, I just peeked outside. Sky is going to open up here. We got storm.
And that's called the weather forecast. Stick your head out the window.
Yeah, well, it's just like that. It's that muggy. That muggy
and
feel.
It's dark down here, like the windows are all black.
It is,
yeah,
and it messes with the stream. Colson is in the pocket today. That is Sharky. It's for Access Communications on Thursday, and when Sharky is here, he's for Flooring Superstore. Trent Dickin and his team.
Love those guys over there.
Yeah, because they hook you up that 25% off dealio.
Yeah,
if you need flooring, good place to go. Access
Flooring's
Communications.
Not easy to do. Do not think you can do that on your own.
Access Communications, if you need internet, TV, home security, in the city or rural.
In your man cave.
Access Communications is where you want to go. This hour, Arash Madani standing by quickly. And then we'll talk to a couple of Regina Pats. They're hoping to hear their name at the NHL draft this weekend already. Creeping up on us. Last year's draft, there was a lot of hype around it. Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah.
Berkeley Catton from Saskatoon went high. Roger McQueen's supposed to go from Saskatoon High first round.
It's not quite the same hype as last year, though.
No. And they're not all going there. I think like only the first rounders are going.
Yeah.
Cole Reshney.
Yeah.
From Macklin.
You've heard those stories of kids going and not getting their name called, sitting in the stands for 2 days. That's not cool.
It's tough. It's a tough look.
Cool. Yeah.
So we'll have that coming up also in hour 2 if you are just tuning in and you didn't hear the news. Trevor Harris did practice today.
Practiced a little bit.
But it sounds like he is going to be a game time decision for the Riders, which we have people on the Prairie Land Rentals text line saying if he's not good to go, concussion, anything like that, sit him. And youth say sit him. No, youth. What did you say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with a lot of people. It's time for Jake Mayer to play, and I
don't think it's time for him to play. I just think if Trevor is hurt,
Trevor's hurt, so give Jake Mayer the chance to play. Put him in there. We have a great backup quarterback. We are in a very, very good situation with Jake Mayer having a lot of experience. So if Trevor's banged up, let him rest, and let's get Jake Mayer in there.
I like our receivers. And are we going to see Kadeem Carey?
Could
in the lineup. Samuel Emelis is still banged up. So
I did that research you wanted me to do on that injury list, by the way.
Okay. We can get into this after Arash.
I did my homework.
Good.
You gave me homework, and I did it.
Where? Okay, I got Sharky to look up where CFL teams are as far as injured players go. Would I be safe to say the Riders are in the middle?
No. Yeah.
I would say higher.
They're in the high third.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
High third. Yeah.
Let's get into it with Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Arash, where are you? You sound like you're at a get together.
No, I'm doing a little work down here in a food court. So you just feel it?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I know. No taco time.
Taco time? Oh, man.
No taco time here.
Oh, do you know that taco
First
time?
thing I looked for, the moment I said food court, I looked around. I'm like, no taco time here.
Now it's going to be hard to go home today without going to pick up a burrito of some sort. Because on game days, they have $8.99 classic two classic beef burritos.
Really?
Rider
Taco
game
time.
day. Taco time. Oh, in Regina. Just the Regina ones.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to start with you on... In hour one, we talked about this. Pat
What have I done now?
Listen, can we play the Pat McAfee clip? So people that were listening in hour one, let's play the Pat McAfee clip getting hyped on flag football and talking about Canada. Here it is from yesterday.
Respect that because there are different rules. With that being said, we can't be losing to Canada. Okay? You guys can't be
Canada doesn't even play football.
It's a strong squad.
It is not.
The Canada one is.
It is not.
Oh,
That is the problem that I'm having here. Now, I learned this from Football Canada's official senior men's, senior masculine. Obviously, you guys speak French in there because it is Canada. 25-21. They go on to play Japan, I think, in the next couple of days. Super Duper International Bowl. It's flag football here.
It's embarrassing.
Can't happen.
Joke. Who's playing? Who was on the team? Who's responsible?
Yeah, who was on our team?
We haven't been able to get all the details. I just saw this posted. I don't know if Doucette was playing in that.
On the roster.
He is on the website whenever we checked it, who was playing. He is on the roster. And maybe Canada just has a team. Or maybe also we should think about Lamar Jackson playing on his team.
Bingo.
Kyler Murray playing on his team.
Sure.
You know.
Even let our college guys play on this team. Like, if you want to make it all.
Where does he think they came from? The Sandlot? Like, what did they think? They walked down Pennsylvania Avenue and said, "You're pretty good. Come play."
Let me just put that in instant Arash GPT, not Chat GPT. I know nothing of which I speak, but I will continue to speak it anyway. Does that just sum up what we just watched and listened to there?
Yeah.
We don't know who's playing. We don't know anybody who is on the field, but we can't be losing again. Masculine. Yeah, must be Spanish French.
I get it. I totally get it because I don't know. You know this really well, Arash, and you would too, Sharky. But if living down there, you get it. Some of my best friends. I'll never. Hey, there's a lot of jerk stores. There's a lot of jerk stores here though too. If you timed us by 10, oh, bubba. But I just
let me stop you real quick.
They have no clue on what we're doing up here like we do about them.
Correct. And the arrogance, the American arrogance. Guess what happened on the weekend? It's not just that Canada beat them. That was the first loss the USA has had in flag football in 8 years. And when the coach of our national team was just on the field during warm-ups chatting with his brethren from south of the border, they actually asked him, so have you ever coached anywhere before? Like, they didn't even have the respect for Canada to do a Google search on Paul Lapolis. That's how arrogant they were. And then, bam, get their butts kicked.
I would have loved if Paul would have said, no, it's the first time I've just put this together. Hope this works out.
I'm actually on
had a lot of fun with the guys and trying this coaching thing.
I'm actually on a work release program. Just really play with them. See, I don't call it
I'm the 3-time defending fantasy football champion. Go ahead.
That would be good. I don't call it arrogance. I just call it cluelessness. They're not that interested. Nor why would they be? In a lot of respects, I'd be like, they don't grow up learning about anything besides their area, right? Where we kind of learn
even the rest
about
of their country.
We kind of learn about everything. Yeah. Which, hey, right or wrong, I've learned a lot. I learned a lot of useless stuff when I look back at my schooling too. So we can debate on this when you come and we have beers on August 27th. But
big night.
Canada went 4-0. They beat Japan twice. They beat Australia and they beat the Americans. Only 6 teams are getting into the big dance when it comes Olympic time. This was a great start for Paul Lapolis and Lipinski.
And that's a good way of framing it, Barney. It's a start. It's a really good start. So here we are, late June. That's the first stop on tour. the next competition are the Continentals in Panama in September. That's going to be another big one. But I went back last night. I watched the USA game. And you know what they did? What Canada did, they started running some CFL schemes. They ran some motion that nobody really uses in flag. And the schemes that Lapo was using really attacked his own defense well. And look, Michael O'Connor's a pro quarterback. He went to Penn State, transferred to UBC, played in the CFL for a little bit. And it's hard to see in the video, but here's what's really cool, is that as Canada's winning, leading later in the game, more and more people from other fields started coming over being like, what's happening here? They're looking up at the scoreboard. They're like, what? USA's losing? What is this waggle? What is this motion?
That's illegal.
It depends on the rules, though. Like different flag rules, a lot of times when it's the NFL flag rules from the USA, you only can motion one person. So
Okay.
I don't know what I'm gonna go back and watch tonight. That's gonna get storming here. And while I hammer the Elks tonight, I'm gonna flip back and forth to this video because it's home team live, and go and watch. But sorry, continue, Arash.
Well, I think a couple of takeaways. It's going to take a little while. Look, I don't think that other countries are going to go start watching CFL football. So I think what you saw here is that you can run a CFL offense and kind of catch some people off guard and start incorporating more and more different things. And Barney, look, everything that you talked about is bang on. Okay, once you watch this game, the flag game played at a high level, everyone's saying, okay, just take your 10 best NFL guys and the 10 best CFL guys. DBs, wideouts. That's it. There's no linebackers in this mix. There's no pass rushers in this mix. There's no need for a running back in this mix. There's no need for a tight end in this mix. You want a pass rusher? Get a DB with long arms, because with a 10-man roster, if there's an injury, you got to make sure that DB can go back and play in the secondary. So this is a totally different vibe, and when you watch it, it becomes crystal clear for you.
Was that the first time you ever really watched that at a competitive level?
Yeah, at that kind of level with pros running around.
So you'll start to get it as it goes along. To your point, the smartest thing to do is to, again, this is just me. If it was a video game, I would pick a rusher that is obviously extremely fast, but you got to be really shifty. You got to be able to break down, right? And tall, because now you got to throw over that rusher, that's where you see a lot of guys do the sidearm and all that, because like the Italians are a really tall bunch.
But also and look, like we just, and it's important, like, I say the Americans were arrogant. Like we consider football to be such a North American sport. Canada was trailing Japan for a good chunk of that game. Japan's a really good team, and then Canada came back with a flurry. Like, this is a 26-yard field. This is a totally different dynamic than anything we've ever seen before. So I think that people are really going to take to this, and it's going to take them a while, because it's a combination of like video game and pinball all in one.
It goes to the point that it's not the same game. Just because it has the word football in it, so does soccer use the word football outside of North America, right?
Sure.
But they lay down and fake it instead of actually getting knocked out. So,
that game the other night. Can we get into that after this? Cool.
Okay. But it's a different game. I think it actually has the wrong name. Right? I think Pat McAfee's got hung up on, and lots of Americans and other people are getting hung up on, it's a football game. It's not the same as a football game. No.
The sport is actually called flag.
Yeah.
It is not football. They use a football, and they have a quarterback, and they're trying to get in the end zone, and everything else is different.
Yeah.
Like, there's no special teams.
Don't get hung up on the name.
Right.
That's my point. Yeah.
And here's what's interesting about the Canadian roster. Like Anthony Auclair, who won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a tight end, played at Laval. He didn't play this weekend. He was banged up. Like, this was the Michael O'Connor Travell info show. And here's what else you're going to notice. Barney, I don't know how much you've seen of this in flag, but you'll have multiple throws on the same play. You might have multiple quarterbacks on the field. Like, it's totally different.
I'll send you
sandlot. It's sandlot football.
At times it can be. So if you go back, Arash, one of the best games to watch. I can maybe try. I brought this up. I think it's the 2022 or 2023, maybe even 2024 World Men's Flag Football Championships. It's the U.S. versus Italy.
Okay.
And Dante just texted in saying the Italians aren't tall, we're just short. But that's two different game plans, two different ways to play the game. The Italians, who a bunch of them are Americans that played NCAA, so tall receivers, some big bodies. Well, that's where I like a tight end that can move. That can be a really good shield out, like basketball. You know, remember, throw it in the paint. But the Americans run what I called an option quarterback. So it's big in touch football as well, where you throw it out, and as long as it's thrown behind, now that guy can throw, but the key is that guy can now run. So the original quarterback, whoever takes the first snap from the center, can't run past the line of scrimmage.
Can he become a receiver?
If you throw it out, yes.
Okay.
So that's where you're going to see teams that they go right behind and then they pitch it back to a guy quick. While the Americans always had these really fast quarterbacks that now that guy's live and he's going to pump, and then he'll take off for 40 yards. It's I can talk about this all day.
How many pumps?
You got me.
But I would say this. I know we talked about this before. I think you said over under on NFL players on Team USA.
We have the clip.
I think you said 4.5. Was that the number?
No, I went 4.5 CFLers to play on Team Canada. I went under. Yeah. And I went under. I think you gave me
6.5.
6.5 for NFLers playing. And I said I'm going to go buy another farm just so I can put both down.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, who knows who's going to play? But to me, I think the number is at least 5 for the NFL, because wouldn't you want to have 3 receivers and 2 defensive backs at least?
If their game can translate to that.
Yeah, I just watching those clips. I don't know that you can take a guy who's a bump and run corner
Jefferson,
and put him in that. Right?
I think Jefferson.
Throw the ball up in the air and JJ's going to catch.
Yeah, but then you're going to have some really tall defensive backs from other teams that have been playing flag for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cool to watch and interesting.
It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
I'm a flag football nerd, so yeah. I'm going to be fascinated. What's next?
Don't limit it to flag football.
What's next for Canada?
Yeah, so Panama this fall is the Continental Championship. We should go
cover it.
You know what? We should take the SportsCage to Panama City.
Yes,
middle of September.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Golly can come with. We'll take Smart Investing Solutions, the charter plane that they have.
Brian's charter.
Brian's charter,
I like it.
We can go down there.
We couldn't get to Swift Current. I wonder if they'll approve.
We barely have the budget to go to Notre Dame. 30 miles down the road.
Taco time can cater the.
Let's not talk taco time because I'm getting hungry again. Okay, let's shift to the CFL. Riders 4-0,
3-0.
3-0, looking to go 4-0 back-to-back seasons. It's been a while since they've done that.
Yeah. 1969, 70 under this guy named Lancaster.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I tell you what, guys, I was listening to the first bit of the conversation before you brought me on. I am in full support of resting Trevor Harris this week. It is the 26th of June. We are just shy of 5 months away from breakup Sunday. What is the need? What is the urgency? And this is how pro sports works. If they're 0-3, the conversation's different.
Yep.
They're 3-0. Nobody in the West really scares you. Winnipeg obviously is Winnipeg, but Edmonton has its warts. I know Calgary's record is what it is. I'm still not worried about him. Nathan Rourke's hurt in BC. Yes. That's your guy.
I think Chakai. I think that is part of the play. If Rourke doesn't play, which I don't think he's going to play because he has practice full. So if Rourke's not going to play, I think that makes the decision easier to be cautious and maybe rest Harris.
Here's the other thing. It's not like Jake Mayer's an unknown commodity. I'm not saying that. But you also want to get him familiar with this offense, being out there. You don't want Jake Mayer's first start or first outing to be in a pressure situation where, Trevor goes down late in the season. Oh no, here we go. Get his feet wet a little bit. Get him out there.
I like it. I think you're 100% right. I don't want him to be Nick Arbuckle 2.0 going and starting the Grey Cup game because Trevor Harris got hurt in the West Final.
Part of me deep down somewhere in the back of my concussion from a Seabiscuit brain thinks that Tommy Stevens at some point in the next 5 years is going to be able to sling the ball. I don't know why.
Yeah. I haven't seen any practice. But I'll tell you this, and I think this is, to me, football, and we talk so much, obviously, about quarterbacks and skilled guys. Football, to me, is still one at the point of attack. And why is Saskatchewan undefeated? Well, yeah, they've been able to come back and play well in the final 3 minutes. But the Riders are doing what they're doing because they lead the league in sacks, and they've only allowed 2 sacks. And as long as you win the battle at the line of scrimmage, as long as you're able to do this in 3-down football, as the Riders have with their pass rush, you're going to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's the name of the game. Win the game at the line of scrimmage the Riders have so far.
I like that. I like that point because that's the thing that goes overlooked with the casual fan. It's like we are not getting sacked.
No.
He's either getting rid of the ball, we're scheming properly, he reads the defense properly, our offensive line is really good. At times, there's so many things. We are not getting sacked. That's so important.
Their team elements. We're talking about the line, but their team elements. On defense, it's your secondary, it's your linebackers that are taking everything away. Not only those guys getting upfield like we just saw in that clip, but the quarterback doesn't have time because he's got nowhere to throw. Right?
I wonder. Go ahead, Arash.
No, I was just going to say, look, if you want to look at an epidemic in pro football, both sides of the border, it's offensive line play. It's a real problem. There are not anywhere near enough quality offensive linemen. The fact that the Riders have allowed 2 sacks through 3 games speaks to not only what they're doing up front, but it also speaks to, as Sharky kind of alluded to, with the scheme, what Mueller's got going on with that offense to put Trevor Harris and put that offense in the best situation. I think there's something to be said for
that. Gary, I knew somebody from Winnipeg was listening. Gary from Winnipeg says Winnipeg Blue Bombers have won the last 12 games against Edmonton. The last Edmonton win was against Winnipeg was 2018.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Like in the CFL, like first of all, in life, that's forever ago. In the CFL, that's basically like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. I know. It's like 4 or 5 different versions of your organization.
Tracy Ham was quarterback. No, but Winnipeg.
It's relevant.
He's saying Winnipeg's not where I'm looking, and I'm not giving a plug because they're not that. Where I'm looking, I've still got him at 10.5. He says Winnipeg's now an 11-point favorite for tonight's game. So I'm stupid. I'm stupid for taking the Elks, but I'm going to just do a little bit.
I'm trying to think of how many coaches and GMs the Elks have been through. Meanwhile, Winnipeg's remained the same with O'Shea and Pal Walters that whole run.
Yeah. And not only have they remained the same with that group, but like Collaros has been there, right? They found a weakness, they've replaced it right away with another. Even this Canadian running back they've got that showed up when Oliveira gets hurt. They haven't missed a beat, right? They haven't missed a lick. So that's not just the coach, that's the whole organization being involved.
2018, I think. Maybe it was the next year that Andrew Harris arrived. But basically, you've gone from Andrew Harris to Brady Oliveira to buy off,
Peterson's name, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. And
one more thing. Where do you? Okay, so they probably lose tonight. The Elks just stay pat, stay the course, trust the process with Trey Ford.
Well, I deep sigh this because it's a good sports radio conversation, but you made a decision in the off season. So effectively 3.5 weeks ago, even though it was 3.5 months ago, that Trey Ford's your guy. Now, you were the second worst team in the league last year, I think. Bad enough that you bring in a new GM, bad enough that you bring in a new head coach, bad enough that you're starting over and you said, Trey's our guy. Now, how much of this is on the quarterback and how much of this is on everything else? Especially on special teams, which is Mark Killam's bread and butter. I'm just of this belief. If you really believe in Trey Ford, you cannot pull him in the month of June. You have deemed him to be your franchise quarterback. You ship McLeod Bethel-Thompson away. Yeah, Cody Fajardo's come in. But you've made the decision that Trey Ford's our guy. You have to exhaust that to the point where you just say, okay, he's not anymore. And I just don't think on the 26th of June, that's the date after you decided this offseason that he's going to get all the keys for this club.
Isn't he starting this weekend?
Who, Trey Ford?
No.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson is, yeah.
For Montreal?
For Montreal, yeah.
Montreal.
Davis Alexander's out with the hamstring injury.
All right.
How about this real quick? First 9 games of the CFL season, 4 of the league's starting quarterbacks out. Oof. Not good.
Nope. Not good.
All right, buddy. Text me and laugh at me tonight when you're watching that game. Eating your taco time.
Eating the taco time.
I won't talk to you for a week. I'm not here next week.
Nice. Enjoy your time off. Hopefully Sharky's around.
I'm there, brother. I'm there.
Don Hewitt. Sharky and the Professor next Thursday.
The Professor. I like it.
That'll be a wild ride.
We're going to be talking Raptors. I promise you that.
I'll be tuning in from Montana. All right. See you, Arash.
Take care.
See you guys.
Arash Madani, coast to coast for Brian Golly, Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian. And we're joking. He doesn't have a jet to take us to Panama.
We don't know that.
No. Is it Panama?
Panama.
Good song. Panama. All right. Break time. We got hockey talk. Regina Pats, NHL draft coming up. We got that. We got the NASCAR report. As soon as we come back, it's the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. All right. You're going with the clutch performer today. I like it.
Yeah. Team Canada flag football for making Pat McAfee mad and upset and showing off that he knows nothing about the sport. Nice work. I love it. I love when a lack of knowledge gets expressed so loudly that you gotta look.
Why are you looking at? Are you pointing at me? I was
general. I was general to the camera. I was out to everybody.
That is a good one. Yeah. Clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. We said the NASCAR report was coming up after the break. It's actually coming up after the next break because right now it's time to go to the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings. All the Greek food that you love. It's raining like crazy. You're not going to barbecue. You're not going to Western Pizza tonight. And I heard, we got a text in here. Unfortunately, there's some hail in Lumsden right now.
Oh,
thanks to Brian for texting in. That's no good. Yeah, but it's coming downtown Regina. It's gotten dark out. It's that time of the year. Western Pizza guest hotline. Let's go out in her right now. A couple of Regina Pats who are hoping their names get called at the NHL entry draft this weekend. Kolten Brigdeman and Reese Hamilton are joining us. First off, Kolten, I got to ask you, when Sharky's on the show here, Sharky is brought to us by Flooring Superstore and Trent Dickin and his experienced team. Did you have to drive Trent Dickens golf clubs to the course last week?
That is funny. I was gonna ask if you guys actually knew him. Yeah, he's my next door neighbor, and he gave me a call at like 3:45. His tee time was at 4, and he forgot his clubs at the house, so I had to run him to the Royal there.
The best part of the story was he forgot his clubs. He went back to get his clubs. He thought, I need a Gatorade. Grabbed the Gatorade, did something in the house, went back, got to the course with his Gatorade, forgot his clubs. So then, Kolten had to drive him there.
Good for you, Kolten. Good for you.
I heard you got a landscape company too. Let's give a little plug for that. You're out on you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it so much a landscape company. I'd call it more of a lawn mowing business. But yeah, KB Lawn Care here in Regina.
KB1 Care?
Been around for about KB Lawn Care, sorry.
Okay.
It's been around for 3-4 years. Just my brother, my dad, and I, and keeps us busy during the summer.
Hey, you could have went with landscape company and make it sound bigger, right? It's all perception. It's whatever.
That's right.
Well, we're not that big.
Hey, Reese, what do you? I hear you got an interesting roommate in the off season.
Yeah, I do. Landon Dupont, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm at their house right now, so he's not home. He's at a skate though. So.
Oh, he didn't invite you. How come you're not with him? How come you're not out there twirling with him?
I was out there this morning. Two skates every day. It gets a lot. So
yeah. Okay, first off to you, Reese. What are you expecting over the next 3 days for you here, 4 days, whatever you want to call it? I'm sure it's already been a crazy ride. Do you know what kind of can you, I guess, put it into words what it's going to be like?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to expect going into this weekend. Obviously, it's going to be super exciting if I do hear my name called. And I think the other big thing for me was hearing my buddies' names called that I've played with for 10 years of spring hockey. And I got some buddies in LA right now. It's going to be exciting to watch them get called too.
Who's the guy? Did you play with Reshny ever in spring?
Yeah, I played with him for, I don't know. I've known him for a real long time, though, probably since I was 9 or 10.
Has he ever had you out to Macklin in the Bunnock Championship? That's a big deal out in Macklin, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Never actually been to it, but he's taken me out to his farm to see his goats that I'm sure lots of people have heard about.
Yeah, we come on the Monday Nooner, and he talked to him. He's got a goat, and he had to get his dad had to take care of the goat while he
doesn't
did the
just
interview.
have one goat. He's got about 60 goats.
Oh, that's awesome. Kolten, for you, it's probably same thing, right? Hoping the name gets called. Emotions are probably going to be a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, for sure. There's no telling what will happen on Saturday here, so I'm going golf and kind of just keep my mind off it and hope for a call. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and there's always more opportunities to come. So,
a good way to look at it, because that's what Dante said. He said, "Well, Reese says he's going to be watching the draft, and Kolten's got a tee time booked."
Because you can't control it anymore. It's not up to you guys. You've done your work, right? It's up to everybody else out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where are you golfing, Kolten?
Well, everywhere is booked up. So there's tournaments at the Royal, the Murray, the Tour, Aston Links.
Somebody give this guy. Get this guy on a golf. He wants to golf all the drafts on. Somebody hook him up here. Text us in 936-62.
Wait. What's your handicap? Before we start giving you out, what's your handicap?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say my handicap here on the TV here because it'd be a little embarrassing. But we got a tee time out at Aspen Links, which is a little bit more our style. We'll hit it around out there and have some fun. So.
Hey, Reese.
Sorry, not Aspen Links, Green Acres. Green
Acres. Here we go. Hey, Reese, what have you, agent and advisors or whatever you want to call and coaches and all that, what have you been getting prepared for? Have you talked to any teams? Have they kind of told you what to expect?
Yeah, throughout the year, I think I've talked to most teams, whether it was through Zoom call or going out for dinners with them or questionnaires or something like that, but you don't really get teams don't really say what they're going to do, and it's kind of more of a surprise when the draft comes, which it should be, and makes it more exciting. So yeah, I don't really have an idea what's going to happen.
And what about you, Kolten? Have you talked to anybody, or what are you hearing?
Yeah, I've had a couple talks and about 10 or 12 questionnaires, so we'll see how it goes.
You get in both of these scenarios, whether it's a questionnaire, whether you're actually meeting with them, it's more of an interview by them to find out more about you, isn't it? Reese?
Yeah. It's pretty much, it's all about your family, a little bit about your season, growing up, how your life was. It's all about you, though. Yeah.
They're just trying to find out whether you're good people or not. Kolten, did you think you cut the pass? You made it past that?
Well, I
you think the lawn mowing business got you the shoe in?
Yeah, I put that in there, and there's a bunch of questions just on situations and what you would do in this given scenario that you kind of had to answer, which I've never done before, which is pretty cool. But yeah, hopefully I cut the pass there.
Did you tell him, Reese, like, what do you mean, what kind of guy? I mean, have you ever been to Whitewood? Like, let's get after it.
Yeah.
No, it's super exciting for you guys. Like you guys said, it's kind of cool that you're keeping an eye on your buddies and seeing where they're going to go and all of that. So continued success, and hopefully things go your way this weekend. Totally appreciate it. One more plug for the landscape company, or for the lawn care company, Kolten, just in case people need their lawn done.
KB Lawn Care.
KB Lawn Care. There you go.
Love it.
Reese, take care. Thanks for doing this. Kolten, thanks a lot. Best of luck, guys.
Enjoy the day.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kolten Brigdeman and Reese Hamilton. Hopefully we hear their name this weekend in the NHL draft. Pretty cool. Break time. Then we got NASCAR report with Sharky.
Sounds like we got a NASCAR thing going on outside.
This is rain stop downtown. It is a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of local sports and the Regina Pass, 620 CKRM.
The NASCAR report brought to you by Croft Electric. The ESPY Awards have announced that Joey Logano is the driver of the year. I completely disagree with that. Logano only got through because of a disqualification to Alex Bowman and should not have been chosen. Chase Briscoe won the Tricky Triangle at Pocono last weekend, right? First, it's a big win for him because it's his first time with the Joe Gibbs race team. He joined Gibbs this year after the retirement of Martin Truex. That puts Briscoe in the playoff mix. The top 5 drivers haven't changed much. Byron, Larson, Hamlin, Bell, and Elliott. Note that those drivers all belong to 2 teams, the Hendricks or Joe Gibbs race team. Briscoe's win moves him from 11th to 9th. Ooh. Eric Jones jumped the most. He went up +4. He's now 18th in the standings. Michael McDowell dropped 5 to 21st. Bigger news is this is the first in-season challenge in NASCAR. The next 5 races. It's a bracket-style playoff in the middle of the season. 5 races. You race against a particular competitor each race.
You printed this off.
That you've been seeded against, right? From the earlier races. NASCAR has not done this before. It's the first time ever. The first race goes in Atlanta this Saturday. You can follow along at NASCAR.com, and you can fill out your own bracket for a chance to win $1 million.
Hamlin's up against Dillon.
Hamlin's up against Austin Dillon. Or Ty Dillon,
the 1 versus the 32 seed.
Yep.
I just need Hamlin to win that.
You need Hamlin to win to continue.
Finish ahead of Dillon.
Finish ahead of Dillon, yes. It's not win the race. It's finish ahead of their competitor.
George's boy, Bell.
George.
He's in the 4 seed against 29. Okay, I get it.
Right.
This makes it fun to gamble.
So Bell is, against Steno. Exactly. It makes it fun to gamble. So we're running a side pool, so I'm expecting a bracket completed by you for the side pool.
How much?
So $20. That's all. Just a little $20 bill. That'll be good enough for you. But I think this is going to be really exciting. It's a nice piece. Look, our man brought it up. It's on the screen. Well done, Colson. Although not hard to read. But anyway, NASCAR's got an exciting piece coming over the next 5 races.
Nice.
Don't leave out Allmendinger. 2 of those races are road courses. That's his best.
Croft Electric, 27 years of reliable service in and around Regina. CroftElectric.com. You find them on all the socials. Good folks.
Great
Getting
folks.
it done. All right. Good job, Sharky.
Thank you.
Good on. Let's go to break. Come back with a little ticker. It's the Sports Cage and 60 CKRM. Starting with the Riders, Trevor Harris news. He did practice today, but Coach May says he will be a game-time decision for Saturday. One game in the league tonight. Winnipeg welcomes the Edmonton Elks heavy underdog there. WCBL, Regina's in Medicine Hat tonight. They lost last night 6-5 to Saskatoon, despite out-hitting the Berries 12-6. They committed 6 errors. Blue Jays won the rubber twirl in Cleveland. 6-0 was the win there. NHL news, Dallas Stars Jamie Benn agree on a 1-year bonus-heavy extension. Looks like the Stars are looking to hire Glen from the Oilers or Neil Graham, according to Darren Dreger. That is your sports ticker. In hour 2 for Extreme Hockey and Sport. The local hockey company that's always been there supporting local. Check it, the new Bauer Flylight gear that's in right now. Skates, sticks, all that. Go visit the experienced team at Extreme Hockey. Hour 3, we'll have Glen Suitor and more on the Regina Pats and Saskatchewan Roughriders. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. All right, welcome back to the program. See, like weather, atmospheric things, lots of different things going on here. Sharky's with me today when Sharky is here. He is for Flooring Superstores, and the show on Thursdays for Access Communications. You're watching some hail videos.
Yeah, Lumsden got smoked. Yike. Ouch.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, that's going to wreck some stuff.
Hopefully not that widespread.
That's golf ballish.
Kolten is in the pocket with us today. We got Glen Suitor standing by. But first, because we had a little hiccup earlier, let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. We've got to talk to our friend Brian Raymond from Flowing Springs. And Brian, hopefully the hail missed you guys out there. The moisture sure welcome, though.
Oh, the moisture's always welcome. You can't beat good rainfall. We didn't really get the brunt of it. We just got the edge of the storm, so we got some rain and some wind and a little bit of thunder and lightning, but it's past now. So we're looking forward to a real nice evening, and of course we have our special at $22 after 6 o'clock to come out and play the golf course.
Ryan, what are bookings looking like for the long weekend coming up? Lots of people taking Monday off. What kind of times are available?
Yeah, we've got lots of times available. We have a special that we run on Mondays, and this is no exception. $39 for seniors and ladies to come out and play the golf course. That's all day.
Whoa!
So Monday's not a holiday officially, but hey, if you got the day off, come on out and see us. And, of course, every day after 6 o'clock, I just mentioned it, $22 to come out and play the golf course.
$39 on a pseudo holiday Monday. What's a senior in your neck of the woods?
If you're 60 years old or more, you're a senior in our eyes.
I'm eligible.
I look it. It's a lot of hard miles.
I wasn't going to go there, but
there's some gray hair there, Barney. You can pull it off.
I got my new summer
You got to show ID, Brian? You got to show ID?
No. Okay. I mean, come on. We're in Saskatchewan. People are honest here. Come on.
Okay, but the other thing, if people are thinking and they're coming in for the Rider game, bring your sticks.
That's a great point. You know what? We are taking bookings for the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. If you're coming in from out of town, you're staying overnight, bring your sticks, come out and see us. The golf course is in fantastic shape, and this rain will certainly not hurt. So, give that some thought.
The best value to golf in the province. That's what I've labeled it that.
Regardless of age, but really good if you're senior.
Unbelievable. Okay, Brian, how do they find you again?
Give us a call at 306-543-5050, or you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
All right. Hey, what's your prediction for the game?
I think the Riders are going to pull off their socks and play a good game. They got to be better than 178 yards in penalty. I mean, wow.
Yeah,
that was an unhappy game.
I think that's going to happen. Yeah. I think the ref was in on it. You got a spiff.
It's always the ref.
The more
every time.
Thanks so much, Brian. Talk to you next week.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Right on.
Take care.
That's a good point, though. Golf before a football game.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't a guy or a girl? $39 on Mondays for seniors and ladies.
I could be out there with the ladies.
You identify as a senior?
As a senior. I meet the requirements, the age requirement. I can't believe I've lived this long.
Colson, direct us. Where do you want to go?
Suits? Go. Sure.
Let's go talk to Suits.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Glen Suitor on the SportsCage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Suits, I know people out there on the you're on over the phone today. People are watching the YouTube, looking, hopefully trying to catch a glimpse of the Glen Suitor. He's over the phone today. But you know what I've meant to ask you the other day, and I know people text in and ask, they want a bear update. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, yeah, bear update is our Big Daddy Bear came by again, was right on the front lawn, and still as nonchalant as ever. So, in other words, strolls across, sits down, and again, picture the Winnie the Pooh pose when he's sitting there with his bowl of honey, but it's a huge black bear with a head the size of, like, 4 watermelons put together. So, yeah, there's your bear update.
There it is, bear update, brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating.
No, brought to you by the taxidermy shop down the street.
We you know what we need? We need you. I don't know if you're like the kids and you're super proficient when you're taking a selfie, but any kind of selfie with the bear in the background, you need to take that and send it to us. So when we have you on, we can put the photo up of Glen and the bear.
That is a new project, Barney. I promise I'll get it done this summer, because he'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the only thing is I'm going to have to explain to my wife why I'm running around with the bear and trying to look over my shoulder while I take a picture.
Yeah, you can do it through a window. You don't have to be outside on the lawn with them. You can do it through the window.
Oh, no. I'm going outside. I got to go outside and just keep the door open and be ready to run. But, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Vancouver man was mauled by a bear yesterday.
Rider legend Glen Suitor.
Okay, buddy, you're calling the game tonight?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in Winnipeg, actually sitting right in the broadcast booth right now. And I got to say something, guys, because walking around today getting lunch in the mall here in Winnipeg, another sellout, okay, here at Princess Auto Stadium. So this is 7 straight going back to last year where they had 5 in a row. Now, listen, I know they have a good team. So, this is a team that's gone to the Grey Cup 5 straight years. So, yeah, obviously their fan base is ignited and they like it and they love the fact they're winning. So that's a big part of this. But I know we got the game this weekend. I'll be flying to Saskatchewan, Dustin and I, right after this one, and get ready for the Riders hosting the Lions. And I know ticket sales are going well for that. But this is a Rider team that now has not been beaten yet this year, that has found different ways to win, has some things to clean up. I know you guys mentioned penalties, and man, I would definitely agree with that. And I talked to Corey Mace today, and let's put it this way, it's been addressed, the penalty issue. So I don't expect to see that again. But yeah, it's a subtle but little nudge to Rider Nation. I'm walking through the malls having difficulty when someone comes up and goes, "Oh, there's the Rider guy." I still get that, even though it was 30 years ago. And the Rider guy, what about our stadium? Our stadium's full. Your stadium's not full. I said, well, first of all, it's not my stadium, but I know what you're saying. And I'll just mention subtly and give a little nudge to Rider Nation that let's fill up the park, because there's no better place to do a game than at Mosaic when it's full.
I would have been more impressed if someone would have come up and said, "That's the scuba diving teacher from the Cayman Islands," instead of the Rider guy. But hey, that's besides the point. What are you hearing about Nathan Rourke from Farhan's message today out on Twitter? It doesn't sound good. I can't see him playing if he's not slinging it on Thursday.
Well, it's interesting. Both teams are sort of up in the air at quarterback, right? Yeah. So, yeah, in Vancouver, this is just reading between the lines. Again, there has not been a decision made, both for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and for the Lions. It's going to be a game day decision. But I would be very surprised if Nathan plays. Even if he's semi-ready. Again, it's so early in the season. It's a marathon, and to have that type of injury, a muscle injury, a soft tissue injury in your midsection when you're a quarterback and have to use that all to throw, and that's your rotation and your throwing and everything, and to be messing with that this early in the season, I think would be too risky. And this is just, how I would handle it, basically. So I'd be surprised. And as far as the Riders, it's still up in the air. Coach May said they're going to go right to game day, see how Trevor feels. He has to pass some protocols and things like that. But, that's why you bring in a guy like Jeremiah Mazzoli in BC and Jake Mayer in Regina. You do that, so you got a veteran guy behind him, and you expect for those veteran guys to play at a high level.
We had a great conversation earlier in the show with Arash, specifically around the offensive and defensive lines and how that's been a strength for the Riders this year, because they're not giving up sacks and they're leading the league in sacks. Can you tell us your thoughts on that, and can you tell us why is that such a big benefit for both sides of the ball?
Yeah. I mean, when you win that side, when you win in the trenches, you often win games, and we've said that many, many times. But I think for the Riders on the O-line, it's a combination of the coach in May's making this a priority in the offseason, making sure he has depth. He already lost a couple of all-star O-linemen before we even started the season, and was able to fill those spots and not just sort of hang in there, but as we mentioned, play at a very high level. But the combination, though, is they've got a veteran quarterback behind them that is recognizing defenses so quickly, getting the ball out of his hands on time. That can really help. It's the same thing that you see often with Bomber games. I'm looking right now at the O-line sort of warm up as we speak and thinking, their O-line has always been one of the best in the league, and Zach's been sacked fewest times in the league, more than not. And the reason for that is twofold. They're good up front, no question, no one taking anything away from them. But they also have a veteran quarterback who knows how to get the ball out of his hands, can recognize blitz, doesn't give up a lot of those type of plays. So I think it's a combination. But it's funny, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was coaching minor hockey guys, the coaches always told me the first thing that you have to teach kids is how to get out of your own end. And I thought, what if I switched the script on that and said, I'm going to teach them first to keep the puck in the offensive end. And just, think outside the box for a second. And we prioritize that. And rather than having 2-1, 3-2 games early in the season, because we prioritize the offensive end of the rink and how to pinch and keep it in, that we were playing in 5-4 games because, we were still shaky getting it out of our end. I'm not suggesting that that's the better way to do it in hockey, but what I mean is, when you prioritize something, make it a big part of your plan in the off season and in training camp in the preseason, it's almost always going to come through for you on the field. And I think that's what happened with the Rider O-line. They prioritize it, and they're playing better.
Where, if you're the Riders right now and you're game planning, let's say offensively, where do you think that they're going to attack BC?
Well, based on the two games against Winnipeg, and the Bombers right now are leading the league in rushing per game, and I've said that many times about the Bombers. They're averaging 143 yards a game rushing, and those two games were against the Lions. So for me, I'd be looking at a game plan that would suggest some A.J. Ouellette and a little more of Ouellette and keep running. And whether it's, play action out of that, but make sure you establish that run, because the Lions have, since last year, as a matter of fact, have struggled being consistent against it. And then once you get that going, boy, you become a two-dimensional offense, and it's very tough to defend. So just in some ways oversimplified, guys, I would say attack what seems to be a weakness again on the D-line and linebacking core of the Lions. And they've got some good personnel, don't get me wrong, but they just have not been consistent against the run. 143 yards a game in two games for the Bombers against BC. I would go ahead and see if they'll stop the run. If they don't, keep doing it.
What are you shaking your head at me for, Barney? You're giving me an oddball look. I want to talk a little bit about the injury list and where the riders are at. We've seen different players go in and out.
Here's your list.
Yeah, I've been working on this. He gave me homework to do. The riders are top of the league, one of the top 4 teams in terms of injured players. Is there something specific we should be aware of, or is this just fluke and bad luck?
Fluke and bad luck. It can happen to any team. And I mean, look at BC. BC doesn't have their starting quarterback the last 2 games. I mean, they've lost a couple of G linemen. The Riders have been hit harder than most, yes. The fact that it's early in the game, and this is me trying to be a little bit half full on this, because there's no way to sugarcoat losing very good players like Sam Emilus and not having him available. Like, I'm not putting my head in the sand in the hole that creates. But if it's early in the season, those guys will be back. And when they come back, Joe Robustelli and players like that have now got 3 or 4 games under their belt. So now, whether it's a rotation later in the season or you're into that final 7, 8 games of the season when you're positioning for playoff spots, home field advantage in the playoffs, things like that, you've got a much more experienced group top to bottom, including the backups in places like receiver, O-line, and places where they've been hurt. So if you're going to have injuries and you're going to have to go through them, early in the season is better than later. And there's my way to create a narrative that is a half full rather than half empty approach.
Nicely done. Nicely done, Suits. You turned a negative into a positive. I like it.
All right. Hey, Kate, before we let you go, we're going to talk about this because we talked to Arash about it. How jacked were you when you heard that? Did you hear Pat McAfee talking about Canada in the flag football first off, and how jacked were you when you heard Canada went 4-0 down in Los Angeles?
I think I retweeted it. I don't tweet or Twitter or whatever, guys. I don't do it much, but I was excited about it. And last night our whole team got together, Dustin and all the crew, and we were talking about was flag football. We ran into the commissioner. He joined us for a quick beverage last night as well. He talked extensively about flag football and how important it is in our country. And to hear, I love the part where McAfee says, this can't happen. This cannot happen. This is not acceptable. They don't have a good team. And then his co-host says, no, they have a pretty good squad. And he goes, no, they don't. No, they do not. They cannot beat. Canada cannot beat us in football. No. So I just thought, this is going to be fun. I mean, we've got 2 years. We've got qualifying at tournaments. Canada didn't lose a game in that friendly one. They beat Japan twice and Australia and the U.S. to open their tournament. This is going to be fun, guys. I love it. I know, Barney, you're right into flag football. And it's going to be great for our sport in general. It really is.
Hey,
Men
Glen,
and women.
Glenn, if you ever hear of anyone, if they need anyone to do play-by-play of a flag football, you make sure I'll get my resume. I don't even know. I think it's like on an old PC at home somewhere.
It's on a floppy disk.
It's on a floppy disk. I'll get some audition tapes together. All right, man. Well, have a great call tonight. Thanks for doing this from the booth. Tell Dusty we say hi.
He's right beside me. The crew at CKRM says hi. Dusty says hi.
And
the Rider Nation.
Tell him I did hammer Wheat Fall on the anytime touchdown bet.
Barney hammered wheat ball. He's got wheat ball. He's giving you the thumbs up on the wheat ball.
I like it.
All right, boys. Have a good call tonight, Suits. See you later.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Glen Suitor. It's always brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, professional service where they will treat you right. You can call Bronco Plumbing and Heating. Look them up online. I had some work done from Bronco Plumbing and Heating once. It was a big job. And actually Cam, the owner, came by.
Really?
And I was like, no, we can just, we'll take this pipe and we'll put it here and then move this. I thought I had to move a wall. And he's like, no.
No,
like,
you don't have to move walls.
It was, have you ever seen me try? I can't even do my front steps.
We got to talk about that too.
I'm paying a guy.
Are you?
Yeah.
There's a couple of
Freeze
issues.
Tallman got me.
There's a couple of issues with that.
Freeze Tallman got me a guy.
Yeah.
Freeze Tallman lumber.
I can't wait to see this picture of the bear, Glen and the bear, on the front yawn.
He'll forget.
Yeah, I know he will.
Or he'll get mauled. Yeah. So that's Glen for the evening for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. We'll go to break, come back. But when we come back from break, we'll do the sports ticker. Remind me, let's talk about that soccer game the other night that I watched. Canada, El Salvador.
Okay.
All right. Sports Cage.
Look forward to it.
Streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM. Sports ticker. Hour 3. Steelcraft Doors, Regina. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada Rider News. If you have just tuned in, you got the clips ready? And play it here. Coach Mace says this about the decision on Harris playing tomorrow.
Yeah, no, Trev was out here, man, so it was good, to see him back out here doing his thing. Again, same process, though. We'll look at the tape and make the decision today.
So make game time decision is what he's saying tomorrow. Blue Jays won today, the rubber game in Cleveland, 6-0 win. NHL news, Dallas Stars and Jamie Benn have agreed to a 1-year extension. WCBL, Regina's in Medicine Hat tonight and tomorrow. They're chasing the Mavericks in the East, and the Berries, who are atop the East, are 7.5 back. Sports ticker for Steelcraft Doors Regina, now into their new 40,000 square foot showroom and warehouse. If you need a garage door, they are going to be able to help you out. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada, Steelcraft Doors. Okay. Canada plays El Salvador in soccer the other night, Tuesday night.
Or as they call it in Europe, football.
CONCACAF, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I'm in. I'm going to watch it. Sprinkle. Canada, and then I picked I parlayed Canada win with a goal scorer, some fellow I've never heard of his name. I don't even think my guy played. But anyway.
Good research. Well done.
They are a minute, and this isn't, if you're a hardcore soccer guy out there, this isn't a dig. I'm just relaying what my eyeballs saw that night. They're like a minute into the game. The El Salvador player goes down with, I'm like, okay. He stayed down, which felt like an eternity for like 8-9 minutes. Like
the trainer come out?
Oh, there was multiple trainers. I think they might have brought the gurney out.
Did they bring the spray? The magic spray?
I can't remember the spray, but it was like he broke his neck. And they were like, don't move him. And I'm like, and then after he gets up and walks off and he's washing off his hand. I don't know if it was his hand or really what it was. I get sorry if you're from El Salvador, the capital is San Salvador. But I was like, what is going on? Then it was flop fest, back and forth. Canadians too.
Really?
We aren't off the hook on this one.
Oh, see, that's so disappointing.
It was, and then and the other thing, why do we have to have someone with an English accent calling soccer games? Why can't you just have?
I think it's an international rule.
It's like,
might even be a law.
It's not like when I went over and watched the British Pro Hockey League, the play-by-play guy had an English accent.
Pretty sure it's in the Geneva Convention.
It's not that they all of a sudden go, well, we got hockey, we got to have a Canadian call. It's like we have to have a guy with an English accent, and there were blatant flops. And then we were like I said, we were guilty too. And then 2 El Salvadorians or whatever, they got kicked out. So they were down to 9 guys. Is it 11 on the field?
Yeah, 9.
They were down to 9 guys for like pretty much the whole game. It's hot as heck in Houston.
And they had 9 guys. And what did they get kicked out for?
And then they have one guy who's in his late 30s, somewhat stocky, like myself. And he's out there in this heat with 9 guys. And I'm like, buddy didn't wake up today and want this smoke. Oh, and it was flop. I actually gave El Salvador credit for they only lost 2-0. And because, I'm watching Canada kind of try and outman them and then how they had to run back. But it was just...
Is that so? Somebody needs to help me out on this, and I don't want to say educate, but this flop in soccer, is that their version of a timeout?
No, they just try to draw a penalty.
Yeah, but when they don't draw the penalty, when they lay there for 9 minutes.
Oh, and it's always grabbing the ankle or shin area.
Yeah.
And they're rolling around, and it was like, come on.
Like, isn't there a level of pride you have of, like...
I don't think so.
Do you have to go to theater as well as soccer practice? Like, do you do them both to be able to play?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get beat up by some soccer fan. Some hooligan somewhere is going to get me.
Just tap him in the calf.
Yeah,
and he'll go down.
He'll go down.
No, it was too much. I love watching big international soccer. Don't get me wrong. I was pumped. I'm like, hey, can I take this in? And I'm like, I got through half of the game, maybe a little bit more, and I'm like, I can't watch this. I don't care if I got a bet on. I can't watch this anymore. I went and watched watched a rerun of Tires or The Office or something. It was. Yeah, so that was my Tuesday night. Tonight I'll be watching the CFL game. Hopefully,
are you seriously putting money on Edmonton tonight?
I did already.
Oh,
not
wow,
huge. Like just to keep it interesting, but I did take Wheatfall, my boy Carrick.
Did you put that on a parlay?
No, can't parlay that. So just a straight up. Hey, it's football. It's one game. Anything can happen. You have found that out enough, and
you know what I'm trying to think if I'm going to follow you because you told me to take the over in the basketball last week, and that didn't work out. So I think I'm not going to follow you.
The game 7?
No, game 6. It was under.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Both those last 2 games were unders.
Yeah,
and I hit the over like an absolute rube.
And I thought, oh, Barney must know what he's talking about.
Definitely doesn't.
Nope, not a clue. Betting on soccer, guy didn't even play. Nice.
Prairie Land Rentals text line, 600 Albert Street, Husqvarna dealer, and anything you need to rent. I think it was Bruce that texted in here and said, probably 4 or 5, not a chance. The Elks are winning tonight.
Is that line changed? I'm going to go look at that.
Where I am looking, it's still showing 10.5.
Okay.
And then they're going to laugh. Hey, somebody put some money down on the Elks to win. That's not going to move the line at all. And the over-under's 51. For the Rider game, now we're talking on Saturday. Sasky minus 3.5.
I just cheesy bet the Edmonton game.
Here's a question.
Okay.
Saskatchewan, BC, Saturday.
Yep.
Weather looks good.
Yep.
Colson? 51.5 over-under. I think that's over all day long. Hold on. Chikai.
Yeah.
2 backup quarterbacks, though.
What was our last score?
2 backup quarterbacks, possibly. There's no way Rourke's playing from what we're hearing. And we'll talk to Farhan Lalji tomorrow on the show. But
last score was 71.
I think that's an under. I do. I think that's an under.
Jake made that. I'm curious if that line will move at all. But they're not. It's game time decision for Mace on Harris.
Yeah, he's not worried about the line.
Definitely not worried about the line.
Educational part of the program here.
Yes.
CONCACAF, Confederation of North, Central America, and Caribbean Association Football.
Thank you. I've always wondered what that meant.
And notice I said football at the end, not soccer.
Yeah. It is one of the 6 continental governing bodies. So FIFA is the big global thing. CONCACAF basically takes care of North America, Central America, and a couple other little islands here and there.
And FIFA's the one that takes the skim, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good summary.
So we found out that in hour 1, we found out that it was Ski Biscuit, not Sea Biscuit, the old tubes that we used to ride in the 90s. And that one on Virage sale. I don't even know where this Virage sale is, but it still looks like it's for sale. Man, that's nostalgic. I should just buy that. Put it in my bedroom. The wife would not love that.
But McLeod Bethel Thompson starts for Montreal.
Yeah, what's the
over
line?
under? The over under, and that's 48.5.
Yeah,
I'm taking the over there.
I don't know. And the Ottawa-Toronto game, Ottawa minus 2.5. Yeah, like so. It's so interesting. Like Edmonton loses today, which all signs, even though some people have bet on them to win, they are in such a hole again.
They are. And an ugly hole too.
You're 0-3. You're trying to get people in the barn.
Yeah. And I think everybody was really down on their attendance, but I think there's an Oiler hangover in Edmonton. They sucked a lot of money out of the economy over that playoff run. So I think there's a bit of a hangover. And there's also maybe a little bit of let's wait and see what our team looks like. And now they're like, we don't need to do that.
Big time.
Yeah.
For sure. Because last year they didn't come.
Yeah.
And so we'll check that out. We'll go to break here and we come back. I want to get your thoughts since we haven't talked about it. We also got still have Caleb Sanders from the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Dave Thomas standing by. But in a bit when we come back,
okay,
I want to get your take on the new moves with the Regina Pats. We haven't talked about that yet.
Excellent.
It is the Sports Cage on the home of the Regina Pats and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM. Welcome back. NHL draft starts tomorrow. We talked to Kolten, Brigdeman, and Reese Hamilton, a couple of Regina Pats hoping to go in the draft. I wanted to get your take, longtime Regina resident. You've seen the Regina Pats and different managers and coaches and front office staff for years. Al Miller, we heard that rumor when I interviewed Al. I don't know if you caught it on Tuesday.
Yep.
I said, we heard the rumor back in the winter, and he's like, yeah, you know what, Barney, actually, things weren't decided here. Things kind of steamrolled or spitballed or whatever quickly. And he said it was tough because they're so deep with talent, young talent.
Yeah, Al's we've talked about this before. Al's done a great job of building this team with young guys up. Like, he's not hanging on to old bodies. His depth of the right age group as they build around Maddox Schultz is fantastic. I think it would be tough for him to leave knowing that he started to put that together and knowing what it could look like in 2 or 3 years. At the same time, this is an opportunity to do something that nobody else has done before. They haven't had this role with Hockey Canada. So for them to reach out to Alan Miller as one of their guys and go, you're the kind of guy we want running our whole operation, that's pretty cool, right? And that's not really an opportunity you can turn down. So,
and his wife lives. I had no idea. His wife lives. She has a practice in Calgary, so she never moved here. He was always going back and forth.
Yeah. So there would be some definite advantage to Al's life to be in Calgary. So I think from that standpoint, and don't get me wrong, I think Hockey Canada's move is fantastic. I think he's a great guy to be in that position. I think he understands the game very well. From the Pats move, though, to move Dale Durkach into that spot, I think because Dale been working with Al all along and the build-up.
1 year.
Yeah, but he'd been involved in the build-up. The continuity stays there, right? The plan stays in place. Somebody doesn't come in with a brand new plan that I'm going to get rid of all this youth and get us in the playoffs right now.
No.
The plan stays in place, and that's what I really like about the move. So congratulations to that group and to Dale for getting that opportunity.
Dale was very emotional at the press conference because he's bled blue and red, and he was told, and he brought the story up, he was told by Bob Strum that you can play in this league, and Strum was like one of the only ones that thought he could, and then he went on to have an unbelievable junior career and the Pats all-time leading point getter.
Yep.
So, and he's done, I forgot, like he was the head coach of the Pats. He scouted with the Pats, assistant GM, obviously. So he's kind of joked about almost every role in there, and he has seen and have been around. So last year he would have been in the conversations of, okay, let's move this and bring in this, and then we have this and this. But, and he said so many things are changing with the NCAA. Now I think it's a good thing, because now it opens up. You just got to be very savvy and how you're scouting the American kids, but there's so much talent down there that's going to open up them coming up here. Maybe you're only going to get them for a year or two, then they're going NCAA.
That's right.
But everyone else is going to be doing it.
Yeah, it's not just affecting you, it's affecting everybody. The other point I'll make to this NCAA thing is, if you're a 17 or 18-year-old young player and you think, I'm going to jump and go to the NCAA, a lot of guys that are going there are 22, 23, 24. That's a big difference in your physical development to play against those guys. I don't care how talented you are. They're another 20 pounds heavier, can still skate and can still play. Develop where you're going to develop. Don't jump because you think it's a better idea or more cash or whatever the shiny bauble is of the day. Develop where you're going to develop, because you get ahead of yourself and you run into some bigger bodies.
I heard that it's supposed to be in the next month or so. We're going to start seeing CIS or U Sport players heading to NCAA.
I read a report the other day. I think this is the first time that U Sport guys have gone to the NCAA from U Sport. Like, it's very rare for them to leave and go. I saw the list. It was the Canadian Hockey League, or what do we call Major Junior Hockey in Canada. They were the number one provider of NCAA guys or signed guys this year. SJHL, MJHL, AJHL were way down there. BC was way down from what it was before, but even U Sport. But here's the other thing, because of the portal, lots of guys throw their name in I'm going to the portal. I'm out of here.
Yep.
Well, if nobody takes you, then where do you go? Right?
Mom and dad's.
Yeah, you're back in the basement. You're playing for the Whitewood Orioles, right? You're playing senior.
They folded last year, but yeah.
Well, bad example, right? The Q Park Canucks. So I think
they're a wagon.
There's so many moving parts to this, and it's just not as simple as I'm going to go do this, right? So
the portal thing, and if you're a fringe player. And it's just, I think it's going to get, the talent's going to get deeper and better, and that you're holding on for dear life if you got a ride and you're in a good spot there. But if you're
stay there,
if you do have a bargaining chip, then you throw it in. Maybe you'll get picked up by University of Denver, North Dakota,
Northeastern,
BU, anything like that. But so Dale and the coaching staff, they're going to have their work cut out for them, just like all of the Western League and the Canadian Major Junior Hockey teams, to figure this out and navigate it. And he was right up front. This Tristan Fry, the more I talk to people about him, they say he is one of the smartest young minds around.
3-year captain at the University of Regina, played for the Cougars for 5 years. Went over to England, played in the England Professional League before he came back and started his career. Not that I'm a super fan, but I do know a little bit about the young man. Great opportunity for him to learn and develop. And first he had Alan Miller, now he's got Dale Durkach, 2 longtime hockey guys in the Western Hockey League. Nothing but upside for Tristan and nothing for great opportunities ahead of him.
Oh, what name? Head scout for the Regina Pats.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
He's very smart as well. And then Max Paddock gets
elevated.
A bump up. I'm all for that. I think if in a company and you have the people and you don't promote them,
then you're telling them they're no good. You're moving on.
It's rude.
It is. It's terrible, right? So they obviously recognized they had good staff. Let's keep them and let's give them the opportunity.
I'm really looking forward to the next 3 years.
Oh, it's going to be exciting under the orange top. It really is.
Like this year's going to be exciting because they are not expected to make the playoffs probably again. Maybe sneak in. But then you got the Maddox Schultz. Oh, the other thing.
Dale McMillan.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Yep. Good job, Kolten.
Hey.
People texted in the other day. Kolten.
No, it's Colson.
That's honest. I have Prairie Land Rentals text line. I haven't looked at it in a bit. Sorry, 936-6262. But Liam Pugh.
Yeah, what's this story?
So, and Dale, I asked Dale about it, and he gave us the clip. It is in the hands of Hockey Canada. He said Gord Pritchard made a really nice application.
Okay.
Hockey Saskatchewan was all for it. They gave it.
Why wouldn't they?
They said, "Yep, where do we sign? Where do we write a recommendation letter or whatever?" So it is with Hockey Canada. I would be shocked, and I don't know the Hockey Canada, but Al Miller is going to work for Hockey Canada. I would be shocked if it doesn't get approved. So now people out there driving, they're like, what does that mean? 3rd overall pick, Liam Pugh, Regina Pats. He would play for the Regina Pat Canadians.
And the Regina Pats.
And he would be able to play the 34 games like Maddox Schultz because he's played an exception. He's played a league up.
Yep. If they can make that work, wow, what does that do for the Patsies as well as the Pats? Both of them are in a much better place. The other point I would make to the Hockey Canada part, because of so many moving things with that NCAA move and just the transfer portal and everything else, players are much more able to move and go places they haven't before. And it would be a negative on Hockey Canada's part to say, no, you can't have that opportunity, right? Why would they take that away from him? Because he's not going to be able to play the 34 games with the Pats if he's living out in the Lower Mainland, right? There's an advantage to him playing for the Patsies or any other team in the AAA league, right? Musha wants to, right?
He could play for the Notre Dame Hounds, now that I think about it. Go to school?
He could, right?
Notre Dame.
If he wanted to, if his parents wanted to do that.
Down the road.
Yeah, or Yorkton, or Tisdale.
No, I think because it's school. That's the loophole. That's the school would be. I'm just spitballing. I'm just thinking out loud. The schooling is the loophole.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Wow. Never thought of that way. Doesn't Careport have? No, their team's only in Bantam. They don't have a midget team. There you go. Interesting where he'll end up, but Hockey Canada would be in a bad situation if they said no to him.
Sanders. Yeah. All right. Let's get back on rider track here. We teed this up. Young Caleb Sanders for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, named top performer in the CFL last week. He's from Glenwood, Iowa. 25 years old. Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with him talking about the honor.
First of all, congratulations in order, Caleb Sanders. Honorable mention from the Canadian Football League. What does that mean to you?
I think it just shows what our coaching does and what the other guys do. We're a real player-led group, I think. We got some older guys with a lot of experience in the room, so I think it's just a shout-out to them. We did some extra things last week, and I think they really paid off.
Tell me about that room that you're involved in. You talk about there being a lot of experience. It must be just like a sponge to soak up some of that and maybe even show a few tricks of your own.
Yeah, for sure. We got two of the best D tackles that have played in the league. So, I mean, it's really good to see what they have to offer. I mean, they have two different playing styles too. So it's just nice to bounce off ideas from one guy or the other. Guys are always learning. Even them, they're still learning at this point. So it's just nice to have all the experience. So, you're never fooled by a situation, or you're always prepared for everything.
25 reps is what they counted you being in defensively last week, but obviously making the most of them. How important is it to get in, make the most of that rep, but also stay in the flow of the football game?
Yeah, for sure. It's huge. We say it every week. You got to start fast. Like we saw in the first half, I mean, we're up big. We're playing really good defense, and then that second half we kind of slowed down a little bit. Same thing goes individually. Each guy's just got to start fast, make the most out of the reps. I mean, if you're playing better, you're going to get more reps. So
it seemed like last week's game became emotional. Was there higher emotions in another game?
For me personally, no. I'm not really one to get into real emotional during the game. So I think for the most part, a lot of the guys stayed pretty level-headed. We knew that we were the better team, so we just had to go out there and show it.
Was it nerve-wracking, or what was going through your mind on that last drive when Toronto's coming back down the field?
I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is get off the field. They're going to go for it on third down, so I mean, just 3 plays in a row, go hard, and then get off the field. Obviously, it didn't turn out like that for us, but that's what was going through my mind personally.
What was the emotion swing then when you saw Mario Alford on the kick return?
That was big. I got excited for that one. Rio's a great guy. It's always good to see him go out there and do his thing.
BC Lions come in here this weekend. Obviously, you want to go 1-0. What do you need to do, though, to be able to do that?
I think, as a D-line group, talking for all of us, we need to have a good pass rush. We put some games together where we've been rushing well. We just need to continue doing that. I think if we're rushing at our best, that no one can stop us. So we just need to go out there, rush our best, and I think everything else will fall into place.
Caleb, appreciate the time. Congratulations again.
Thank you.